It's running.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video. This is an advanced guide on how to play Inara, the Stone Warden. Inara is the best frontline when it comes to area denial and control. Her kit is made up almost entirely of abilities that allow her to control these areas and stay alive. She, like any other champion, has 4 talents, namely Mother's Grace, which allows Earthen Guard to gain 20% increased damage reduction and grant CC immunity, Tremors, which reduces the cooldown of her wall by 70%, Wrath of the Stagala, which allows her to deal an extra 200 damage if she hits all 3 shots, and Treacherous Ground, which allows Warder's Field to cripple and have a 50% increased radius. Item picks are almost always situational, but the top 3 items for Inara in my opinion are Cauterize, Rejuvenate and Master Riding. Cauterize is only useful or mostly useful when the enemy is running a double support composition or if they're using some heavy hitting frontlines that have a lot of healing in their kit. Rejuvenate is very good if you're running solo tank or have some sort of healer or support that's not meta, and Master Riding is good for blocking off access to enemies on maps such as Ice Mines on this spot right here. Don't forget, these items are almost always situational and buy what you think you need most. The first piece of her kit we'll be taking a look at is her wall impasse. The wall can be activated underneath you as you ult in order to see more around you and possibly hit more targets. It can be used to block high amounts of damage that the enemy might be dealing to you and get out of this safely. It can be used to lift yourself up and access higher ground. This is good as enemies won't be expecting you to come from there as you do not have any mobility in your kit. The wall can also be used to protect teammates and possibly save their lives. One of my favorite uses for the wall is to bait a Drogoz into using his ult and immediately back up into a corner, and if done perfectly you can actually stop the Drogoz from ulting you. As I said, if done perfectly. If not, he can actually get through the top and wiggle his way in and still get to kill you. It can also be used to protect yourself and surprise enemies while charging up your ult. The wall no longer acts as a barrier between you and the payload or enemies in the payload. This means you can no longer cancel over time or push the payload in by simply putting a wall in between the enemies and the payload. I personally prefer it the way that it was before. Also, the wall gets destroyed by simply touching the payload. The next point is Warder's Field. It is useful for immobilizing very mobile champions such as Eevee, Androxus and Xin. This dissuades any mobile champions from getting close to you. You can get up to 25% damage reduction simply by using Sacred Ground in your loadout. It can be used to deny area access to enemies when zoning. Place it behind corners in order to affect people around the corner while keeping it safe. The next topic is Earthen Guard. It is used to get up to 50% damage reduction onto you and your deployables. Try to time it with the burst healing of your support such as a Ying, Life Exchange or a Genos Astral Mark. It can be useful for trying to get your healing up out of combat as quickly as possible. This allows you to heal much faster and get back into the fight even sooner. Using it before suffering a barrage of incoming damage will allow you and your deployables to get up to 50% damage reduction. This can make you all last longer and just keep you alive that extra second, which can make all the difference. The final point is Seismic Crush. Use your wall ability, then ult, and then press Q again to take down your wall to surprise enemies and protect yourself while charging up your ult. The ultimate can be used to stop or slow down the momentum and pushes made by the enemy. It can pass through shields. Remember, it needs a direct line of sight from the point of impact to the enemy, otherwise it will not stun them even though they are in the radius. Use it to counter CC ults such as Ceres' one, Zen's one, Pips, and Torvald's. Use it with the wall to get the maximum effectiveness out of it. And finally, the biggest usage for this one is to set it up with another ult and try to use your own momentum push to push the payload in. So all in all, if you want to play a good Inara, what you want to do is you want to go up to the enemies, get close to them, use your crippling, depress device, use your wall, cordon them off and just destroy them. This allows you to kill them easily and just make use of your ultimate at good moments and you'll become a much better Inara. Just use your cooldowns in such a manner that you always have something to save yourself with or save your team with. I just want to say thanks to GrandiGood for providing me with the tips, information, tricks and some of the footage used in this video. Big shout out to them, and their tag is in the description down below. If you want to join an active gaming community that can be found on almost all social platforms, Gaming Until End is for you. Links are in the description down below.